Hey there. Welcome to the No Sugar Added podcast, where three friends keep it real and don't sugarcoat what's wrong with today's relationships and dating scene, with your host, Dan, J-Fabs, and Jean-Claude.
Welcome to No Sugar Added podcast, your relationship podcast with your host, me, Jean-Claude. Got J-Fabs over here, got Dan the man.
Hi.
And you're probably thinking like, wow, it's been a while. Yeah, it has been a while.
I haven't
But
seen these guys in a while.
you know, bro, I saw you like a month ago.
I was talking to them.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, we saw each other like a month ago when we were eating dinner. What do you call it? Yeah, you might think like, oh, man, they've been off the air for like 2 years. And you're not wrong. We have been off the air for 2 years, but we got busy lives, you know? What are we going to do? We got to make money, right?
Ain't that right?
You know, but we're back. Are we back? Are we back?
Yeah,
Hey,
of
we're
course.
back.
Yeah, we're back.
Well, we're back. Even though last time we said we were back, and then we went on hiatus for 2 years.
Back like we never left.
But we're
again.
back. So, yeah, we're back, and we're talking about dads, papas,
Poppies out there.
daddies,
Yeah.
and more in terms of what our relationship with our fathers, how it etched our view towards dating, romance, relationships in the sense of loving relationships with our significant others or partners, you know. And it's a good thing because we have three different perspectives.
Yeah.
Right to me, huh?
Way to swing it over to the other side.
His dad's dead. He has an ambiguous relationship with his father, and my dad's in my life. So, yeah.
For now.
You're going to hear all sides of it. I'm sure it's going to hit more than a few people out there on some
Yeah.
aspect.
And so, one small bit I forgot to add. Sorry, we're a little rusty. We're still getting used to this again. Don't forget to follow us back on No Sugar Added Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Instagram, on, I forget the other platform, Apple. Sorry.
Anywhere where you listen to your podcast, that's
Yeah.
where we'll be.
Sorry about that. It's been a while.
It's all right. We're loosening up with some drinks.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is a breaker-in episode. Next episode will probably even better. But yeah, what do you guys think about, you know, your relationships with your fathers and not having relationships with your fathers, how it's changed your view or molded your view in terms of relationships with your significant others or partners?
Yeah, I think it's what you learn about a relationship by watching your parents, right?
Yeah.
Watching them as you grow up, seeing how they react to each other and everything.
Very true.
I think you imitate what you see, whether consciously or unconsciously, right? So you might not understand or know how you've been behaving, but a lot of it could be predicate on how that initial relationship with your father could have been. So
100%. You know, like in terms of like my father's been in my life all my life. My parents got divorced when I was like 13. So after 13, I didn't see my father as much as I did before the divorce, but he was still very present in my life. And I feel like I'm an okay human being when it comes to dating and into relationships and to my significant other or the partners I've had in the past. But, you know, it's kind of weird because I feel like our formative years, what do you guys consider formative years? Like, I want to say 8 to like 16 or 17 are your formative years, and people might have different.
That's about right. I would say, yeah.
I know some people say that anything between 5 and 10 are formative years. I disagree because I feel like at 5 you're not even conscious. You're just like a walking.
Yeah, I think you're just not
person.
retaining as much memory at that.
Exactly, and I feel like in my formative years I lived with my mom after the divorce, so I feel like my mom, she molded me the way I treat people just in general is because of how she brought me up, and also in terms of significant others and partners. So for me, it's kind of hard to like look at my dad and be like, hey, I treat my significant other or my partner or have treated my partners this way because of you. But it's true. I did see a loving relationship when I was younger, and obviously towards that point where they get divorced, it was different. But I feel like I saw an example of what I try to do now. You know, the way I saw my parents act when I was younger, I tried not to imitate it, but I feel like
replicate or like a hybrid of it.
Yeah, I don't purposely try to replicate. I just am the way I am. It's kind of hard to like to.
Sounds like a 90s song.
Purposely replicate.
It might be.
It's not like I'm purposely trying to replicate it. Like in my mind, it's not every day I'm waking up like, okay, I got to be like my mom and dad.
Yeah.
No, but it's just like I wake up and I do the things I do. I act the way I act because that's how I was raised and how I came to be. But I do find myself sometimes in my mind like, oh yeah, my mom and dad were like this when I was younger too. I remember. So yeah, it's true. You know, seeing a model does help.
It kickstarts, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
The development and the process of how you're going to treat it later on in life.
Yeah,
You know?
100%. And I've heard stories from people I've known throughout my life where they have had terrible relationships with their fathers, and how they kind of emulated that in their own relationships, and they were verbally abusive, physically abusive, just completely, what's the word I'm looking for, neglectful in their relationships. So I do see that, this parental figure that you're dependent on when you're a child until you're a teenager, maybe you're a young adult, to help you form the way you're going to be, that person's character can really rub off on you in a
Sure.
way. But, unfortunately, we don't, at least not unfortunately, I'm sorry. Fortunately, I don't know what that's like. My dad wasn't like that, so I wouldn't know. But I don't know. What do
Yeah.
you tell me, you have an ambiguous relationship with your father.
Sure. I mean, I think a lot of it is I know you spoke on the aspect, at least from my understanding, you spoke on the aspect of, having that, parental figure there, or seeing these figures in your life at a young age, and then emulating what you saw and seeing how it's, helped you, today. I think for myself, a lot of it maybe could be, also came from a mom and dad who divorced early when I was young. So I probably was like 5, or I've had to be like
Damn,
5 or
that's
4.
really young.
Yeah, it's young. So I don't really, like we just spoke of, what was the ambiguous or the age, no, formative years.
So yeah, you never really had
Not
you
really.
didn't even have anything to model after,
No,
because
there's
yeah, you were
no.
5, you barely understood.
Yeah, there's nothing there per se, at least for myself, that I could recall as like a foundation of seeing something that I was like, oh, that's my Kickstarter, and I can run a few yards with that. But I think for myself, there's my aspect of it. What I would put it is the absence of someone who's not there when it's just mom, right? So you're seeing things from just one perspective of someone, and then there's just a whole nother side that you don't see growing up. So I think and I would also point to the thing of like, when you watch movies, songs, a lot of these things growing up kind of like really builds this perspective of the media, sometimes builds a perspective of how you treat others, and sometimes good, sometimes bad. I mean, listen, we grew up with the 90s, right? There's a lot of family oriented TV shows. And I think a lot of that also provided a good projection for, how you would treat those relationships. So, I mean, not
True.
having, or not kickstarting having a good relationship, in, at least I could say in my life, I think TV, movies kind of really helped build a projection of something that like, oh, okay, so that's how it should be in a relationship, or that's, at least that's what I'm seeing. Like, and I mean, the movies and TV shows we watch always make it look like, happy
Yeah.
ending. Like,
So what do you feel like this fictional father presence in TV shows or movies was a better role model than what you did have?
sure. I mean, we all saw, was it Liar Liar? Or like,
Yeah. Oh, Liar Liar with Jim
Or
Carrey.
Jim Carrey, Liar Liar. And, you saw how like he utilized watching television and like movies and shows kind of helped his I think he also had an absentee father. Not to say that I'm the guy.
Let's call Jim Carrey right now. I got his number,
Not to say I live the same life as Jim Carrey from Liar Liar.
No, you're not that
But
so,
yeah. But like, it's everyone's seen Family Matters, Seventh Heaven,
Oh,
Full
God.
House.
Well, hold on. That guy, he's a pedophile.
Who?
The Seventh Heaven father.
Really?
Was he?
Yeah.
No way.
Look it up right now. In real life. He's a
In real life.
pedophile. A dead ass. I'm not even kidding you. When I saw that, I was like, God damn it. All those episodes for no reason. God
God.
damn it.
He was such a loving father.
He was.
Loving.
I mean, you got Carl Winslow still, and you got Philip Banks.
Yo, 100%. 100%.
So, I mean, I think a lot of those kind of kickstarted it off with like having a good view and projection, I guess, whether consciously or unconsciously. I feel too, right? There's things I think sometimes we grab a hold of not knowing, but I think it paints a picture in the back of our minds. I mean, maybe in my peer view, maybe it was media. In yours, you might have had more of a relationship, or you saw visually hand.
Yeah.
Maybe more of that back.
Yeah, 100%. Even with my dad and my stepmom, I saw a loving relationship. Not to say that I try to model anything after that, but I saw like, okay, so that's how we're supposed to be with our partners. We're supposed to be caring. We're supposed to be kind. We're supposed to be considerate. We're supposed to be
selfless in times.
Yeah. We're supposed to be just an overall good person. It's that saying like, treat others the way you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
And I've always saw that with my dad and my mom. So I feel like, you want to be treated with respect, show respect,
Yeah.
don't do anything dumb. Don't commit bank fraud using your partner's name.
Hey, honey, can you co-sign this loan for me?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't want to get a bike.
What about you? You've had no father.
What's your perspective?
Damn, my
on
bad,
it?
bro. I don't mean it like that.
Jeez.
You know what I mean. My
I
bad.
miss you, Dad.
Shout out.
R.I.P.
No, they got divorced like when I was really young. I
Yeah.
really even remember when they got divorced.
Yeah.
I just remember me going over on weekends, and there was I think there was like a lot of bad blood between my mom and my dad for some other reasons that I don't really know about, so I can't really speak about. But
I hear you.
I don't know. It's just seeing the way my family and what my mom and dad were. I don't think it had an effect on me because I think I'm fine, right? No commitment issues here.
But might need a therapist on the next episode.
No, but yeah, I mean, your father passed when you were young, and then your parents got divorced when you can't even recall. But you had great respect and admiration for him, right?
Yeah, I loved going over his house because, he also worked in IT and I always kind of like looked up to that.
Click, clack, click, clack. That's how you know work's getting done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those weekends very well. And then he remarried my stepmom, great person. So I seen how they were together and they seemed like a great set of people. So, I've seen good and I've seen bad. It's just, it's how I take it, right?
Question: what age do you recall? Like, was your last experiences with your dad?
Well, I remember a lot from between probably around like 10 to 12, like just being at his house all the time. He died when I was 12. That I can't
That's
forget
young.
that.
Yeah, that's young, man.
I remember that shit like it was yesterday still.
Damn.
But yeah, I remember that. So I remember just a lot of that, spending certain holidays over there and certain birthdays over there and just,
Yeah, because when you're like at 12, what are you like? High school, right? Or no?
No.
In 7th grade, maybe 8th grade.
Seven,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like 7th
Yeah.
grade. Yeah.
Because then by that point, like you're dating, like, and that's kind of like the pivotal years, right?
Who's dating?
You're not dating
Who
Who the
7th
fuck is
grade?
dating that, bro?
7th and 8th grade?
No, bro, I wasn't slinging like that.
Oh.
Okay, I was an awkward kid.
Well, wait.
I was on the precipice of
Pepperoni
acne.
face.
Well,
Facts, y'all.
that was a straight up whole fucking greasy pizza, but
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I got to my dermatologist.
When I moved to Kearney, 8th grade, I did date a girl. We used to call her Egos or something like that.
God dang,
Oh,
bro.
and now she's a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Lego my ego.
Oh, no. She's like the top deal cardio doctor. She's
Okay.
a big deal. Big deal.
Fucked up when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you should have been buying a house too.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, do you guys feel that men with daddy issues are not the best person? Well, here's my thing, and I'm going to generalize, and I'm already apologizing to the female audience, who is majority of our demographic. I've heard, and it's a joke, that women love a project. Women love to fix things, and I feel when a man has daddy issues, women are like, you know what? I'm going to fix that. Do you feel like men with daddy issues should be dating, or do you think they should be fixing their daddy issues
No, it really
before
depends.
they date?
It really depends on the daddy issue, right?
Okay, so
Like,
let's
there's
say
like-
issues besides getting touched by your dad.
When you say like there's like a daddy issue where your dad might be absent for a lot of his life, right? So that would be considered a daddy issue. How is he going to play in with his girl, and then when they have a kid, is he going to be
He's
absent?
going to be absent from.
So it's certain things are very hard to fix, and I applaud women for wanting to try, but there's a lot of things that aren't easy about that.
I've only known like a handful of women who've tried. I don't know if it's ever gone anywhere, but I don't know, the idea of trying. I only say this as a man who is stubborn in some aspects, and when people ask, "Do I want help?" I say no, because it's the machismo thing that we've been taught as growing up. We don't need to ask for help. We can carry our own weight and more.
Is that a daddy issue though?
No. I'm just going back to the fact that, that's how boys were raised.
Yeah, because it's exactly how we were raised.
Yeah, that's how we were raised, our generation. Like, oh, yeah, I don't need help. Thank you, though. But do you need help? Because I'll do my work and your work. Who cares?
Yeah.
I feel men of our generation trying to fix those men who have daddy issues is an uphill battle. You guys are familiar with Sisyphus, the Greek legend?
No.
Sisyphus he did some shit, and then at the end, basically, he was punished and condemned to roll a boulder up a hill for eternity. He would roll the boulder up to the hill, the boulder would fall down, he'd go back down the hill, and he would go push the boulder all the way up the hill. He would do it forever, for life. To this day, he's still doing it. It's a task to what I feel, trying to fix someone who doesn't want help, who thinks they don't need help. No, thank you. but do you need help? I'll help you. I'm good. I have no problems.
You mean like an uphill battle? No, unknowing and understanding is an uphill battle.
I mean, without the knowing and understanding, just like there are people, or I'm sorry, there are men and women, but there are men like that who just don't want help. So if a woman tries to find a man, or not tries, happens to find a man who they like, and it's like, oh, he has daddy issues, I'm gonna fix it. Like, but they're stubborn. They have that machismo upbringing where they don't want help. There's nothing to help. Like how do you? Is it even worth trying to fix that if it doesn't want to be fixed?
You got me.
I know, because there are women out there who are like, nah, fuck that shit. Like he has daddy issues, I'm gonna fix that. Like, are you sure you want to?
I think a lot of them are attracted to it. Like they can smell it a mile away. Like, oh, he needs help. Let me go spend some time on that project over there and get my hands dirty.
So what, you think they're just immediately attracted to people who have problems?
I think so, because it takes away from them maybe realizing their own problems, probably.
And then what happens when that problem is fixed? Do they move on to the next one?
I think I think it might be unattractive. I guess I technically shouldn't be speaking for anybody, but
I mean, if they're attracted to the issues and there's no more issues, what are they attracted to?
Exactly. If they don't get resolved, if they don't
project complete, onto the next
future episode.
She's a project manager.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's what women are. Women are project managers, and that's actually a really good comparison because project management is a tough business.
I mean,
yeah, I wish we had someone who had a really bad relationship with their father, so we can ask them how it's shaped their way when they come to relationships. Like, I feel like we're pretty well balanced when it comes to our own relationships. As far as I know, no one's coming at me like, oh, AFAB's abused me.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan the man went. No one's saying that. So as far as I know, either you guys are doing it and the women are keeping quiet, which they shouldn't, or it's not happening.
Speak up, ladies.
Yeah, speak up.
From what I hear, Dan, Claudia,
Assad is gone.
Don't have any domestic issues.
They're gonna dox me now. Forget about it.
You want to know what's addressed to?
Well, no. If I recall from previous episodes, I think we've said things where they're like, "Oh, okay, so they live in this state. They live in this."
Yeah, they definitely know where we live.
They narrowed it down. That camping site. Oh, who registered the campsite 12?
Yeah, and this kind of. Oh, I kind of wish we had. Oh, I can't say them by name.
It's just a different perspective.
I don't think I know anybody with like big
daddy issues.
I mean, I know one person.
Do we know them?
JL.
Damn, what are you doing over there, bro?
I'm looking at him.
Flip those letters backward.
Bro, I have ADHD, bro.
He didn't have the most.
Oh,
he didn't have the greatest relationship with his father.
Yeah. And he was provided a lot of things.
Yeah. And, he almost had like a hateful relationship, even though his father tried his best.
Tried his absolute best.
Yeah,
That's
absolute
crazy.
best. And we even saw it. But this one person was just he did not give a fuck. And we saw how his relationships kind of deteriorated. And the worst part is, now that I think about it, like his relationships to me, I don't feel like his relationships deteriorated because of the relationship with his father. It was because of his own harmful, self-destructive nature.
Self-destruction mode.
Yeah, but you're not getting that from your father. I mean, remember, his father tried his best.
I think they're good now, though, right?
Yeah, now after years,
his father provided
years.
There's
Remember,
a few times I try to help out.
Yeah, we're talking almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, and it only recently got good. Only recently, a couple of years, like 4 or 5 years ago. So. I don't know.
That's a daddy that's too much in your life. Like to have a little bit of not so much.
Yeah.
Father.
Actually, that brings up another good conversation. Recall there was an SNL skit not that long ago, maybe like a year or two ago, where it's the over encroaching father. Like the idea is that the boyfriend treats his significant other really, really, really well. And she loves it. And then the father is like involved in all he's like, oh yeah, let me invite my dad to our dinner. His father's there. Like, oh yeah, let me invite my dad to our picnic, and the father's there. And the father's just like really, really involved. And like, the problem is like, do you think that there's a problem with the father being too involved? Like a good father figure.
In his son's life?
Yeah. Like, do you think that changes the way the son views their relationship? That he needs to be just as involved in maybe their significant others?
I mean,
life.
I mean, I think we're all familiar, I guess, with like parents who are helicopter parents, right? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, trust me, I see them all the time.
And like a father hovering over his son. I feel like it's maybe like a small percentage of people, but if that was to happen, I mean, I don't know. It could work out good or bad, I guess.
I guess it depends on
the situation.
Yeah, and also I think like when it comes to like helicopter parents, I think mom's a little bit more crazier than dads when it comes to that.
Because mom's like, don't do this, don't do that. Dad's kind of like,
it's because I think the mom like deep down kind of cares more than the dad.
Where I work, I see more. How to say this without just everyone knows I am a liberal. So what I'm about to say, please don't take it with insult. I see a more feminized version of men where I work. They are men, they are providers, but they are more, hey,
nurturers.
Yes, they're more nurturers, which is not a bad thing. But I do see
kind of
the way they raise their children in this more soft way. And I'm just like, is that really going to work? Like, do you guys remember the movie Bedazzled with Ben Stiller and Elizabeth, that British chick? You don't remember?
I missed that one. Sorry.
No?
I think if you saw it, you will.
But you remember, right?
Yeah.
Remember he lives all those different lives. Do you remember the one life where he's the overly sensitive man? He wants to be the most sensitive man in the world.
Yeah.
For his girl. And he's so sensitive. He's like looking at the sun like, I see this sun and it makes me think of you. And he starts tearing up.
Yeah.
And the woman's just like,
yeah, get the fuck
okay,
out.
you're a little too sensitive. And yeah, he was like, oh yeah, I picked lilacs from the field right here next to the beach. And I just cried with such emphasis when I saw the color white because it reminded me of you. He was too overly sensitive.
Yeah.
And I feel that this certain upbringing that I'm currently seeing where I work, which is where I work, everyone's wealthy. It's a different type of millennial upbringing, more soft parenting millennial.
Suburban area.
Yeah. It's the people who are from Brooklyn who have the money, who move to the suburbs. Yeah, and they're very I'm a liberal, but they're like hella liberal.
I can't stand soft parenting. I can't.
Me either. I mean, that's not how I was brought up.
I think it's exactly the reason. It's the way we were brought up was so much different than now. It's like when the day I have a kid, bro, it's not going to be soft.
Everyone gets a participation trophy.
Yeah, wear that belt, that cooking spoon. No,
damn.
Just kidding.
I mean, that's how we were raised.
No child abuse, but what is that? That chaka?
The chancla? Yeah, the sandal, the flying sandal. But yeah, I see that soft parenting, and sometimes I think about that scene very often. Sometimes when I see this type of soft parenting, it's because, not to say that women want danger, they want the bad boy, but they don't want someone who's just overly soft. They don't want someone who's just overly sensitive, who the smallest, how the clouds form around a sunset and the clouds are changing all the time. And sometimes it's that one, and then sometimes you get like that spectacular sunset because of how the clouds are shifting and whatnot. And it looks incredible. They don't want a man crying because of that, because a man is like, oh, the clouds shifted in a certain manner. I must weep for this set.
Beautiful.
And sometimes I feel like this over involvement of, at least what I see where I'm at, this over involvement of this soft parenting, more based on a father figure, not a mother figure. I feel like it might lead to an overly sensitive generation of boys who become men. And then, not to say that women don't want this overly sensitive guy, but at least in my experience, no woman is like, oh yeah, I want you to be overly sensitive. No, they want you with a little bit of bite, a little bit of give, a little bit like, he's a little tough.
It's funny because when it comes to women, a woman want a little tougher man, not so soft. But when it comes to raising their kid, they want you to be soft.
Yeah, they want a little pushback, just a little pushback. And I'm not saying a lot of pushback. I'm just saying a little bit, like, oh, okay, you think you got some fucking shit to say? Okay, I'll give you my shit. Because imagine, no, never mind. Don't question.
Not a good one.
No. It's really dumb. It's really dumb. But yeah, I feel like at least now seeing the different generations, because sometimes I wonder too. Like my grandpa's my dad's father. He's 95. Straight from campo is Portuguese, but it means from like the farmlands. Like they live in a very desolate area in Ecuador, like in the middle of the fucking mountains near the Peruvian border. My grandpa, he was a dog, okay? This man was, if someone could put the word if someone could give the picture of
Bingo?
of a cheater and put it in Webster's dictionary, it would be
Jesus.
my grandfather. Okay, suffice it to say, only because like he had 9 boys with 1 wife,
Damn.
and then he had 4 more boys with a mistress.
Oh.
Yeah, it runs deep. And no offense to my uncles, they were dogs too.
I mean, well, you got to think about that, right? So they're all being raised in that kind of environment that cheating is okay, right? So it's bound to happen.
Yeah, but
Right.
it just goes back. I feel like it changes through the generations.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like I see my grandpa's perspective of how back then it was just like, fuck, we're gonna cheat left and right. That's the way we do it. And then I see the soft parenting where they're just like, we're gonna be overly sensitive. We're gonna be helicopter parents. We're gonna make sure our boys are raised for flower power, and that's it. There's gonna be no toughness, no bark in their bite, because there is no bite. And you see these generational shifts, and it's just different. It really makes you look back at how those relationships with their fathers really will or have kind of like cultivated or will cultivate their ideas and the way they act towards significant others.
Yeah.
But that's just my take.
No,
it's I don't know. Do you guys know your grand well enough?
I mean, well, it's funny because it's gonna sound weird. So, like, one time I interviewed my dad, and I recorded our conversations. Yeah, and I asked him about his father.
Go on our Patreon, and we will drop this episode.
So, but the reason I asked my father and I wanted to sit down and interview him is like I spoke of, like, I don't really, my relation with my father is not the best one. It's not really a good one, I would say.
Strained.
Yeah, it's good in terms of like I care for his well-being.
We still talk and everything.
Yeah, I still look out for him and his well-being and things like that. But I'm not gonna go break my neck and do something out of that's gonna cause strenuous activity for myself. But regardless, I did interview him and I asked him hard questions that I wanted asked, because I'm like, these are questions that I just want to know. Like, how did you learn to be the father figure that you were to me? Like, where did that come from? So I've had this conversation with him, and he's most comfortable speaking Spanish, but this was an English conversation, but I gave him the opportunity to, like, if you want to talk Spanish.
Like, I'll get that Google Translate right now, bro. It's all good.
He's got that recording. He's gonna go back.
Open AI is ready. Talk into the mic.
Yo, GPT, translate.
But yeah, so I asked him, I was like, because my father's view of his father, my grandfather, I never met him. He died in Peru, but he always viewed his father as like this thing here, like above all else is like elite. Like, that's my dad. That's my dad. That's my dad. That's my dad. And he's always hawked around this photo, like in his wallet, like, that's your grandpa. That's your grandpa. And I'm like, I've seen it a million times. Like, all right, thanks for telling me. And then I got to the nit and grit of the question, right? Because as you get older, you're like, okay, let me find out how good of a man was this.
Yeah.
And then I got to it, and I was like, tell me about your dad. It's like, oh, my mom and my dad he's like, my dad left my mom when he was 9, and he only saw his dad maybe once or twice the rest of his life.
Wow.
Jeez.
And he just got up and left. Like, he went out for a pack of smokes and he left.
Is
like,
that the Spanish version?
He went out for tamales.
I was kind of
and
thinking
he
the
was
same
gone.
thing.
And
Tamales, cigarettes, and
yeah,
coffee.
He went out for bread and milk, didn't come back. And then he saw him again, like in the street. Like when he was 13, he saw him in the street. And he's like, Dad. And he's like, oh, hey, son. Just like,
Jesus.
No nonchalant.
No new family, nothing like.
No. So then, but my father's, and this is crazy, right? Because I'm like, wait, you understand, like, that puts a burden on your mom to be single mother and raise you and your 2 other brothers. Like, why don't you give your mom enough credit and you just gave, like, majority of your dad credit? Like, it's just this machismo-ness, like, older generation, like, dad is dad. Like, there's nothing, anything you say that refutes that it doesn't exist, at least in his point of view. So, and then I asked him, like, so then, technically your mom did a lot of the work and she really carried you guys, because my dad also didn't have a good relationship with his stepdad. He had a stepfather and he viewed him as like, he took my mom away from me in a sense, like, because he was already getting at that age of like, he needs to be out there working, he needs to support himself.
Yeah,
and
different times in Peru.
I think he viewed it as like, my father should be, my mother should be with me and I should be with my mom, but I guess he didn't really have that father upbringing, like prepare himself for those, late teens, early 20s, like, okay, time for you to build your life now. But it's just crazy because, like I said, that's my perspective and having that conversation with my dad about how he grew up, because I am comparing that relationship with him and his dad to me and my dad. And I'm like, okay, because I kind of want to know where this, like, why my dad did what he did, and was the point of reason for the divorce, right? Like, and I'm like, I'm piecing things together I want to know, like, was his behaviorals, did he learn that from his father? And I can see, like, wow, you idolize your dad, but your dad was never around. Like, how does that make sense? I mean, obviously we're older now, right? And we can put some of those pieces, like, and it's just crazy because it's like, I don't know. I guess it's the mentality of, I guess, in those old ages where people just, like, your dad's your dad and he's always like, he's your Superman or something. But he was an Ant-Man. Like,
you bring up a good question I just thought about, like, really hard. Coming from parents to divorce, do you feel like you want to be a better partner than what your father was to your mother?
100%. Wait, in my relationship?
Yeah, in your own relationship. Do you want to be
1,000%.
Yeah, I just thought about that myself. Not to say that my mom and dad had a terrible relationship, but like, I wish my parents didn't get divorced. So I think about, like, what could have been.
Exactly.
And sometimes it does dawn on me, like, I'm doing what my dad couldn't do. Not to say that he couldn't do it because he couldn't, but it is what it is. Situations, and it's not like he ran from it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it does, it just dawned on me, like, subconsciously, it does pop up in my mind for a brief second, like, oh yeah, I'm doing what he couldn't do.
Yeah.
Am I doing it better? I'm doing it the way I do it.
For sure.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 1,000%. I mean, like, because I've been very, like, when my mom was around, I was very open with her and be like, why'd you pick this guy? Like, because he doesn't, like, my mom's like, I don't know. Because I remember one time, like, my mom would tell me, like, I'm working on my car, changing my own tires, I'm changing my calipers, my brake pads on my car. And my mom telling me, like, wow, your father would never do that. And I was like, and then now that opens up the perspective for myself too. Like, oh shit, like, I'm doing things like my father couldn't do, or wouldn't want to do, or push himself to do. So it's like, oh, like, that kind of, like, fuels the engine to, like,
to be better.
Yeah, but I want to just be better. And then obviously, like you said, you'll do it your way. But it's better in a sense.
Still kind of better.
It's better in a sense that it doesn't affect the people around you. You know what I mean? Like, one person's action, a divorce, causes a trickle effect, in others, maybe knowingly or unknowingly, right? Like, but we all could have had totally different lives, right? If our fathers were Philip Banks,
if they were present, like, completely present. Yeah, 100%. That's
our trajectory could have been
different.
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I think we would have been slightly different. I wouldn't say greatly different, but I feel like maybe slightly different people than we are currently.
Yeah. Could be.
That's a good point. I honestly didn't realize, because at the end of the day, like, when we really think about, like, how we're kind of tied together in, like, the majority of our friend group, when I think about it, sometimes we're tied together only because most of us are raised by our mothers. If you look at our whole entire friend group, there's like one or two, maybe even three, who had both parents in their lives completely.
Yes.
But majority of us were kind of raised by our mothers primarily, for the most part.
Majority of the work was placed on the mother to do more than obviously a relationship's not 50-50. Sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it's 80-20. It's a balancing, but it seems like a lot of the times, at least my perspective, like you were saying, we've seen that mothers have been doing more of the load and the duration of doing most of the lifting, in our lives. So cheers to moms.
The hard workers.
What about you, Dan the man? Do you know anything about your grandfather?
Grandpapa?
By any chance?
I do know my grandparents, and they both passed, unfortunately, on my mom's side. And I hung out with them a lot. Like, I did a lot of sleepovers there and everything. In front of me, they were like the perfect couple, right? But I think that's how grandparents are. Like, they kind of mask that. But they were, from what I remember, they were loving couples. I always had a blast being over there. It was always so much fun, just sitting around the TV, just chilling with them, over there, fucking knitting up a sweater, just chilling. Like, it was always a blast. So if I were to take my relationships growing up, I would say they were pretty good.
What about your relationship to your father's father? So your
grandpa. Yeah,
grandpa and your
I fucking love my grandpa, man.
But I mean, do you know anything between your grandpa and your father?
I know
Like,
they're not together. My grandpa and my grandma on my dad's side, they're not together. I think they came from Italy and split up or some shit. I don't know the whole story, so I can't.
Yes,
But I
right.
do know I've seen them a lot. I still think my grandma still calls me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Even though it's very hard to understand her sometimes because she doesn't speak English very well. I love her. I try to
this
do my
guy doesn't
best.
speak Italian.
Like, grandma, I love you too, grandma. What are you saying? Come visit. Okay.
Make the gnocchi for you, Dan. Yeah, thank you, grandma. Nonna. I'm sorry, Nonna. Thank you, Nonna.
I think she speaks Spanish more though.
Oh,
What
yeah?
the fuck?
Put her on the
Yo,
phone.
Hold on. I thought you were Italian.
I am Italian.
Yo,
but
I'm telling you right now, that 23andMe is gonna say Argentinian. I bet you money.
it does it. If I can
Money.
pull it up
I
right
bet
now,
you
dude.
money, bro. Remember when we were around 14 or 15, that craze where everyone thought that they were Italian? Because
the Jersey Shore.
Because the Jersey Shore. You had straight up like
I thought there were Guidos.
full on Brazilians
Yeah.
who had the Brazilian accent. Hey, I'm Paulie D. I'm like, yo, bro, get the fuck out of here, bro. You're from Brazil. Get the fuck. Or some of the Mexican guys. You remember some of the Mexican guys in high school?
I do.
Yeah. Coming out with the blowouts.
Spiky hair.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I'm Italian. Like,
everyone had the fucking blowout.
like, bro, you're not Italian. We've known that you've been Mexican for years.
Bro, was the blowout with the chain with the fucking AX gear.
Everyone, even bro, I mean like pale Polish kids that we had
for sure, yeah.
Some of the pale Polish kids we had in high school, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm Italian on my mother's side." I'm like, first of all, get rid of the accent.
Well, go
you're
back
Polish.
To your pierogies.
Get the fuck out of here. Or the Irish. To me, the Irish probably the best part because they were so pale and they were redheaded. Like, yeah, I'm Italian, and they came from Sicily, and I'm the Godfather. I'm like,
with that hair, I don't think
like,
so.
bro, get the fuck out of here. We know you're fucking Irish, bro. Like, you were Miss Irish, pageant winner from like 2006. Calm the fuck down.
The only thing I will say, there might be a little Argentina in there, right? Because you got to think about it. Back in those days, they migrated up from Italy to Argentina up. But I am from Italian.
Italy to Argentina. Italy and Argentina are different continents, right?
Yeah, but they migrated to there.
Oh, you're making it sound like they...
Oh, I'm not like drawing a fucking map, dude.
I was like, damn,
yeah, I was like, wait, so they went from Italy up through Russia, they swam across to Alaska, and then came down to Argentina.
Oh, the opposite way. Chile. Right?
I was like, okay, like, damn, bro, they swam.
I'm just trying to straight line up, dude. Come on, like...
They went south, they went north. Well,
yeah, I mean, the relationship with your father and your relationship with your significant other or significant others or partners that you have throughout your life, it's hard to really pinpoint things because I feel like, the way you treat your partner is based on a lot of factors. Maybe for some, it is primarily your relationship with your parents. For some, it might be primarily a relationship with your father. I know for me, it was more my relationship with my mother because she was my main caretaker throughout my formative years. So I thank her for that. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's a little different for everyone. It depends on everyone's family situation. Yeah,
no, for sure. Like I said, parents divorced very early in my life. My dad met someone. My mom met someone. Obviously, dad died. I continued growing. My mom was my my number one figure in my life. Right.
Yeah.
Even though there was a stepdad there, but when I was young, man, like he wasn't my father to me. In my eyes, like
nah, it's tough.
It's like you're not my dad. Like my dad is fucking in New York where he's fucking dead. Like you can't replace him.
No.
But eventually, like I grew into that, right? And then, like eventually, when I got older, I started seeing him as a parent because he asked me one day to adopt me as a father.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
yeah,
dang.
so it was a very nice.
Don't start
thing.
crying.
I'm not gonna start crying.
Okay, because you're a little.
I'm not gonna do it, girls. All right, I'm not soft, but yeah. So it was nice, and then I got to see it, more clear about their relationship, him, and my mom. And I was like, okay, this is love.
So he was like a good role model to also.
He was because he spent a lot of time with me, right, getting to know me.
He tried
playing games with me and doing things with me. Yeah, there was a lot of effort involved into him trying to, I guess, earn my respect or my whatever, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Your trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's big. It takes a lot for someone to try to do that and know that you're going to get knocked down. And I'm sure you rejected him a few times.
Hell no, a bunch.
Yeah.
And I you probably knew that was going to happen. Like I was a kid. I didn't really know what was happening,
Yeah.
Or I just didn't want to understand it.
Also, you're young. Like it's fresh. Like it's like, I ain't gonna lie too, because even like for myself, like when my mom and my dad split, my mom was just her. And I think my mom would even try to date. And then I was just like,
Ooh.
no. I was like,
Yeah.
we're like, no. Who's that? No, no, no.
Yeah.
And then, but now that I look retrospect, like it's kind of selfish. I allowed my mom to do all the work and
Yeah.
4 kids. That's a lot of mouths to feed.
I just think it's just hard for us. We're scared. We don't understand what's really happening. Like
emotionally.
Emotionally, because we're young. Like we don't know what's happening. Like
Right.
now we understand because we're adults. And it's
Older.
like, okay, people need other people.
Yeah. It helps.
Yeah, what do you call it? I look back now, after my parents divorced, my mom tried dating. Me and my sister were so against it. And now I look at it and I'm like, man, that was really selfish. But, it's because we were scared. We only knew one father and we only wanted our father.
Yeah.
And he was our guy. So it was really just strange. And
Yeah.
I look back at it. I wish I could go back in time, like stop myself, like, hey, everyone needs someone.
Yep.
You're denying your mother someone. So,
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, it's part of growing up.
It is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. You can't take it back, but we just learn from it. It's
Yep.
part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't got much left on this topic, man.
All right, let's end it with one final question. All right.
So there we go.
All right, we're almost at the 50-minute mark. Let's just end it with, what does a healthy relationship look to you? Growing up all these years, we all have different perspectives on growing up and how we grew up. Well, what do you think a healthy relationship is to you?
In terms of what? In terms of what? With our fathers or?
Just, I guess, with your
Partners,
father, your parents, your partner. I guess it would be your
relationships.
partner.
Yeah.
So your partner, learning and trying to unlearn certain things throughout your life on how your parents were to adapt into your relationship.
Hold on. I'm a little confused by this question. In terms of what? In terms of how your relationship with your father has...
Your relationship with watching your parents grow up, doing the things they did. What did you learn from that? And what did
You can apply to your own life.
that. Well, from my parents' early years, I've learned communication is key. And also this could have sounded really stupid, silly.
Not so serious.
Yeah, don't take everything serious. You take things too seriously every given moment, it kills the relationship real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, trust me. Like waking up, I think the best way to put it is like wake up every morning being a morning person, okay? That's the way I see it. Am I a morning person? Yes, I am a morning person. And trust me, my significant other does not like that. Or she's not the greatest fan of it, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's what I took from my parents' relationship before they got divorced. Treat every morning like you're a morning person.
Wake up early, get ready for the day.
Or just be, the second the alarm clock goes off,
Discipline.
let's go. Be alive, be awake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for myself, it's the relationship that I had with my dad. I guess the takeaways from me, the biggest ones that I still hold till today, is the things that he didn't do that I felt I can do and I do and will continue to do to better my relationships. But I also keep an open perspective. That's something that I've learned for myself and I apply. Like I can always learn something. I can always take a step back. I can listen, and I think those are certain things, right? Sometimes we grow up with parents who are like my dad. Sometimes he's didn't have the mental capacity to be able to like listen rather than just tell. And you know what I mean? So I think that some of those things that I learned from him and things that he did or didn't do, I take all those every day with me and I apply because it's important to me in the relationships that I have, with my significant other or anybody else in general, friends and things like that. There's always things you can take away and apply, I feel. So for me, those are my takeaways with the relationship that I had with my dad growing up.
Excellent. I think for me, it's kind of be more of trying to be as understanding as I can, listen, taking their feelings, their thoughts, and kind of understand where they might be coming from instead of just jumping a gun into something without knowing everything, right? Just, if someone's feeling down for the day or
into consideration.
Into consideration, yeah. Just, understanding how they feel.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. Well, that was a really good first episode back.
Oh, yeah.
I think most of us are tipsy. I'm
feeling good, bro.
Yeah, I'm feeling good too, bro. Shit. Yo, it's episode 29. It's good. Could have been even better.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to count for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was good. Good comeback. Talking about fathers. And I don't know. Yeah. Who's going to call us out?
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to No Sugar Added Podcast, a relationship podcast.
Right now, it sounds more like a therapy podcast.
Make sure you find us on all your platforms you like to listen to podcasts at No Sugar Added Podcast it's No Sugar Added Relationship Podcast.
The Sugar Added Podcast on
God, we
on
don't
Instagram.
remember.
Oh, yeah,
On Instagram.
on Instagram, Spot, Apple, anywhere you love your stuff and your social media.
Your favorite streaming services.
Yeah. Go to that. Thanks for listening and have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
Night.